Right. Hopefully, we're back to normal. That's as soon as my headset turns on. And I need to reset my chat because it won't load. That should now show as loaded. Yep. Right, see if we can crack on, shall we? Sorry about all of that. I don't know what happened there, but my net just went from normal to, I don't know, like a quarter of the speed. Right, and where are we? 3 hours 11. Got to try and get back up to 60. And then it changes back to 55. Oh, yeah. Trailer. I'm not thinking. My bad, I should have been thinking about the trailer and I wasn't. That'll teach you. Gotta remember, turning in, depending on which way you're turning, it'll cut in on that side. So if you turn left, it'll cut left. Right, let's try not to do that again, shall we? How much damage do we get out of that one? Hey, no damage to the goods. That's all that matters. Hey Throttle, how you doing? Yeah, it's going through the canyons, it's going up to Utah. Or we're probably in Utah by now. I'm sure it's a Utah one I picked anyway. We left Camp Verde going to Salina, is it? We got another 2 hours, 33 minutes anyway to get this load there.
Keep left.
Let's get the old speed limiter going. Cruise control, I should say. Hello there, Aspect, how you doing? And thanks very much for the comments. Oh, here we go. not turning there. He's not turning either, he's just slowing down. Okay.
Keep right, and then turn right.
Well, it depends how you, what do you want to do? Is it just a sim race rig only? Is it, do you want to do flight as well, or? And how are you making it? Are you gonna make it out of just metal tubing, or are you gonna go for aluminium profile? Well, you can always do what I did. For the seat, you don't have to buy a full-on racing seat. Well, look out. I don't know what, which one's that one? Streamlabs has picked up something. Apologies for that. I'll have to look at what I might have to turn Streamlabs off, because for some reason it picks up stuff. And, it's causing me a headache using it, to be honest, because it keeps banning everybody. Apologies for that. I'll do that in another stream, but at least it's only 1 second timeout. I don't know what it's doing. Anyway, what I was saying, for me, I didn't bother. What you got to remember is a racing. If you go for a proper racing seat, you're probably looking minimum 200 just for the seat alone. So that's the majority of your budget, or half your budget gone. For me, if I were you, I would go for a second-hand car seat and get that mounted to the rig, and then you could be spending 50 to 80 bucks, something like that, maybe less, if you depending on how cheap you want to go, and then invest the rest on the rig itself. I mean, I went through a stage of buying a really cheap rig, had that for about a year, and then it was like, no, okay, I got this. And to be honest, looking at what I know now, I would recommend skip cheap rigs, go for the rig you want. So go for, ideally, aluminium profile to the spec that you want. So if you can do it for 400, do that, and add the seat on top of it if you can.
And then continue straight on.
Yeah, something we could look into there, throttle. I'll have to look at
go straight on.
Settings and what have you after the stream. Well, I mean, your choices are you either go for something like a Simlab P1, but that's going to be expensive. I know that you can pick up the, was it the GT, is it, or something, or GT3 rig or something? I can't remember what they call it now, but that's like 320, 340 maybe. And again,
go straight on.
Do you need to have a P1 to have the rigidity? No. I mean, this is, my one is a self-made one. It's similar to the size of a P1, but it's not using the very thick chunky metal that they use for the base, which, to be honest, isn't really required. But when I did this, the P1 was, I think for me to buy, was just over 700. By the time I priced my rig up for all the parts, I think it came in at about 450, something like that. Now, obviously, the P1's probably dropped down a little bit in price, and they've improved on the design since then. So really, it's just down to what you need from a rig. Got to keep an eye on that rear end, and I'm not doing it. You just buy the parts. There's a company in Germany, which I believe they're expanding into the US, but I believe there's places in the US that are that sell it. basically all you're doing is buying the Aluminium Profile, and any place that sells the Aluminium Profile will sell you all the accessories in terms of hinges, brackets, you name it. It's just held together with threaded screws and special T-bolts, all of which they sell. Even the brackets. However, to save a bit of money, I bought some of the angle brackets I bought from eBay.
Turn right. Turn right.
There we are. So it's metedis.com. If you join my Discord, under the hardware section there should be 2 links which will take you to their website and to a page which shows you 2 basic rigs that they've already pre-designed. So I think their cheapest one is like 200 and something, 250, 280. Right. SimLabs is really starting to do my head in. I might, right at the end of this job, I'll go in and disable Streamlabs, sorry, because it's kicking everybody off. Oh dear God. How much time have I got left on this job? 37 minutes, there we are. This job will be over now in about 5 minutes and I'll just disable it. You can make them out of all sorts. I mean, I when I first was designing this rig, I did contemplate doing a PVC rig using PVC tubing, which I've seen done before if you really want to do a cheap rig. But I was just worried about the tubing over time creaking and making too much noise, so I thought, nah, I can't be bothered. I've seen people do wood ones though. I mean, if you've got the tools and you've got plenty of wood, then yeah, absolutely. And hell, if you're a bit of a carpenter and you know what you're doing with wood, then go for it, because you could probably do a really good job. Right, we're nearly there. We'll get this dropped off and then I'll jump into Streamlabs and get the chatbot disabled because it's doing my head in. There's no added feature. This
Right. And then
it's picking up something on its own and just stopping everyone from typing and deleting everything. Oh, hold on. We want to go the other way. That was good. Too busy holding my cuppy. My coffee cup. I can't even talk. God.
turn left.
What do you mean, how did you mount the rig to the cockpit? Which piece are you on about, sorry?
Keep right.
The wheel is mounted far enough back that it's behind the monitors. The monitors are then brought down. The monitors themselves are on a separate floor stand. So again, similar to the SimLabs monitor stand, it's separate from the rig, so you can slide it back, slide it forward if you need to. You could, in theory, mount it to the rig. There is room to do so. But I just wanted a bit more flexibility when it came to positioning the monitors. By mounting it to the rig, it means once they're done, they're done. If there's any movement on the rig, then the monitors are going to move with it. And I didn't want the monitors to have any vibration from the wheel. But I've seen people kind of cut corners there. You can kind of mount with wood instead. Yeah, monitor stand, did it myself.
Never mind. I'll find a new route.
If you go to the SimLabs website, the last time I looked, they had their they have all the measurements for their cockpit there. So if you just want to have a look at their measurements. There's nothing stopping you just having a look at the measurements. You could copy them directly or just take them for reference and, you know, make your own sizes. Alright, we'll drop that where it is, thanks. Mine's made out of 4080 Aluminium Profile. So again, it's a bar on the floor, 2 bars on the floor as feet, and then 2 bars running up, a bar going across to link them all together, and then there's a quad monitor stand above as well, so it's 2 bars and a bracket across for the 4th monitor above that you can't see. You can just see the bottom of the monitor right there. That's the 4th monitor just above. So again, it's very much like the SimLabs one. And again, the parts for all of this, they're on the Metedis website. Right, and let me get into my Streamlabs account. And I'll just add it now. Can't see chat at the moment. Right, with a little luck, that'll be done. Yeah, even the monitor mounts, they sell everything. These monitors use, I think it's Visa mounts, 100 by 100. The company Metedis sold monitor mounts 100 by 100. The brackets themselves were like £6-7 each. I needed 4 because I'm using 4 monitors. The arms to angle the 4th monitor above, they were sold there. Everything I bought from them, basically. You've got to do a bit of hunting with Metedis because the website is a bit clumsy, so not everything will be where you expect it to be. Like the Visa mounts and things like that, I had to do a hunt for, but in the end I found them. I was like, great, you know, job done. So it really just depends. But for the 4th monitor, you don't really have to go for you know, a full-on 4th monitor mount. You could use depending on the size of your monitors that you're using, you could use a gas adjustable arm, which I've seen some people do. And that way then it gives you a bit of flexibility as well. And it may work out. It'll probably cost you the same, if not less, to use a cheap gas adjustable arm. But it needs to have a good range of height on that arm as well. Right then, where are we? Up to 140. We need another job. Again, we're going to keep it to around 20,000 a job. Try and keep the times down so we're not doing crazy lengths. Yeah, my Discord. It's on in the background. I don't know who's posting. I can't even see it, unfortunately. Right, we're up to 20,000, so what have we got? Try and keep the times down to around 10 hours. Well, there's one for 10. Arizona, New Mexico. What wheel are you going to be mounting to the rig? And is sim driving of any form going to be something you're going to be spending a lot of time doing? I mean, you got to remember, this is virtually a daily thing for me. I'm always in the rig. I'll stream at least once a day minimum, and I'll always be driving in this thing. I've invested a lot of time and effort into this, so I use it a lot. You know, if you said to me I'd probably use it once in a while, then I would say, you know what, you might not need to bother investing heavily in a rig. You know, just go for a cheap and cheerful. So something like a GT Omega, absolutely. But if it's something you're gonna be in daily, then I would say, you know what, just get a really good rig to begin with. Well, there we are then. So you know, you're not planning on sticking at a basic level. You are looking to expand at a later date. The one thing for me, it's a bit like building a PC. You know, you can end up putting in really cheap parts and starting your PC, but it only means that you have to upgrade and spend more money later down the line, sooner rather than later. And the rig really is the heart of your system. You know, it's a good base to build on. Once you've got that, if you've got the base to build on, then it's just about adding. I mean, all of these are extras. You know, the wheel's an extra, the shifter's an extra, the handbrake's an extra. Without a decent rig, though, you know, I didn't have any flexibility to mount handbrake, shifter, another H pattern shifter down here. I couldn't have mounted these screens. Didn't have the room on the cheap rig to do any of this. And if I did, I would have to drill the hell out of it just to do it. Whereas this, because it's 80/40 profile, it's got all the slots ready to mount stuff. There's no extra drilling. There's no faffing around. If I want to add an extra item, I just get a bracket, mount it in, and screw it all together. So it really makes life a lot easier by going for something like an aluminium profile. And yeah, that was my one big mistake I think I made when I started with this lot. I should have just left the cheap rig. You know, that wasn't cheap at the end of the day. It cost me 300 quid. I ended up selling it, and I think I sold it for about 150 quid. And then as soon as I did that, I went straight to this. I'm still looking for a job. I'm not convinced that other one was good enough. Air conditioning complex. No, I'll try and show you. It's kind of difficult, but if I take my wheel off, this basically here is what my wheel mounts to. Then behind there is an extension bar. You might be able to see my fingers. I mean, that's the back of the extension bar by there. And then the black part you see here, that's my motor because I'm using a Simucube 1 motor. And then it's mounted onto these two pieces of aluminium profile. They're mounted to the main cross beam here. That runs across to a bar which is tucked behind here, and a bar that's tucked behind there down to the floor. But these are slid back as far as I can to make sure that the base for the motor is mounted behind the monitor itself. Then there's an extension bar here which brings the wheel in front of the screens, which allows me to mount the wheel really close. You know, I can just get my hand in widthways behind the wheel, and then I'm touching the screen. So all of it, you know, all aluminium profile is all grooved, ready for you to mount in. I don't think I've got. If you give me 2 moments, see now if I can find some bits. Okay. Haven't got a piece of metal spare because I think I've used it all up. But basically, that's your T-slot. So that runs in the groove, which I don't think I can show you. Let me take the wheel off. So basically that gets pushed into the groove here. Don't you can see that groove running up the middle of the metal piece, and then basically that will screw in, and that will secure because you wouldn't be able to pull it through. Now, if you were attaching a piece of metal, you'd use something like these brackets. So that would be tucked behind, that would go through, and that would be obviously inside your aluminium profile. And then you just bolt them all together. So if you can imagine, you know, all this bolted together, you can imagine how rigid and how tight everything's going to be. You don't have to use that level of brackets. I mean, there are some aspects here where I'm not using the proper brackets, but therefore the less important items that don't put strain. Anything that doesn't have strain, like here, these monitors are held on, these tablets are held on with just basically clamp down angle brackets, because there's no weight to them, there's no major pressure with them, so there's no worries. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking, I'm toying with the idea of replacing my foot plate that I made for this rig and strengthening it, and it's going to cost me about 60 quid's worth of parts for 3 pieces of metal, but it will make it way more rigid and probably give me better positioning of the pedals. So that may be an upgrade I do shortly. Right, and we're not going to do that one because it's a stupid heavy load. Still got to find a job. But yeah, if you can afford aluminium profile, regardless of whether you build your own or go for you know, a SimLabs, go for it. That's what I would recommend anybody do. I certainly haven't regretted investing in it, that's for sure. Ooh, let's do that one. That goes right the way through Utah into Nevada, even if it is an urgent. SimLabs is good. You know, at the end of the day, it just comes down to your budget. I would say have a look at the Metedis website. Price up your own rig if you wanted to. If that works out significantly cheaper for you and you're willing to do it yourself, then do it that way. If you can afford to buy a SimLabs, then I would recommend a SimLabs. You know, at the end of the day, they're both going to be aluminium profile. They're both going to do the job fine. You know, it would be nice to say, oh, I've got a SimLabs rig, but at the end of the day, it's aluminium profile. You know, I don't think I'd get any extra rigidity by going for a SimLabs over this. Right, let's crack on with another job, shall we? The rear end. I mean, the only reason why I went my route is because I wanted to have my flight sticks mounted to the rig as well, because at the time I was well into my Elite Dangerous, which I must admit I haven't really played as much as I used to. But if I wanted to do a Simlabs cockpit and then add flight sticks and then mount that, I'd have to buy more metal, which meant I would have been spending £700 on the rig, then maybe another 50-60 quid on metal to mount the flight sticks too. And if I remember correctly, when I was purchasing or looking at the Simlabs, they didn't have the same foot plate, and I wasn't happy with the foot plate they had. So again, I would have probably had to buy more metal to do the foot plate as well. The monitor stand, I think it worked out the same price as the basic stand from them. So that'll be the stand without the quad monitor stand on top, because they, as far as I remember, when I was purchasing, I think it was £200 for the 3 monitor stand, and the 4th monitor part was an add-on, whereas mine was quad monitor complete for the same price. So around the 200, I think it was just under 200. But that was everything then. That was 4 monitors configured then. So again, I probably saved about 70 quid maybe. Gotta remember, with my rig, I based my rig design off of a P1. So my rig is slightly longer, because I was talking to somebody the other day about this, funny enough. I think the P1 is 1,200 millimeters in length, mine's 1,400. The width of a P1 is about 520, is it? But mine's a 600 width, but I wanted my rig to be wider to accommodate more for mounting. And I'm glad I did, because I've got so much mounted to this. Got the wheel, 2 8-inch tablets, a button box, I've got 2 flight sticks, so I've got the flight stick over here and the throttle over there. Got the keyboard tray. That is the only Simlabs part. So the keyboard tray here is actually a Simlabs keyboard tray, because I couldn't find... Oh wow, sorry, just have a look over there. I've not seen that before, but we've got a truck down there as well. I'm working away. I couldn't find a good way of mounting the keyboard doing it myself. And I'm no good with sheet metal and working with sheet metal, and there's nowhere around here where I live that lets you just take a sheet of metal and get somebody to bend it right for you. So it cost me 60 quid, so I bought the Simlabs keyboard tray. But everything else, self-built. Oh, lights. That's always handy, isn't it? I think something's going to be dark again. Right, let's see if we can get around this guy. It was just finding a place that was, you know, willing to do it, and to be honest, I didn't have the time to go trawling around finding a place that was willing to help me. And it was simpler just to buy this, to be honest. I would still have to buy the metal to get it mounted and the angle brackets to, you know, move it. So for me it was like, you know what, I might as well just buy it because it doesn't work out that much more expensive. Do I get more people watching? Not really, to be honest. It usually hovers around 10, maybe sometimes 20 people, you know, sometimes maybe 3. At the end of the day, I think people come in to watch the chat and what have you, but the problem is, if people don't chat in the first place, I'm not that type of person who's going to sit here and just waffle on. I'll just play my game at the end of the day, and if someone, you know, wants to come in and engage me, then I'll certainly engage them, you know?
Keep right, and then continue straight on. Go Go straight on.
Hey Accuracy, how you doing? I'm sure there are places around here that would be willing to do it, but I just didn't know where they were, to be honest.
Turn right.
What have you been up to, Accuracy? Anything good? Have I tried the HP? No, it's something I'm toying with maybe getting. Because I've got the Vive right now. But it's such a pain just to set up the Vive because I change positions. If I'm playing like a game where I'm walking around, then it's in one position. If I'm in the rig, it's in it. I'd have to set the cameras, not really cameras, the laser, whatever they are, base stations, that's the word. I'd have to set the base stations up again. So I've been toying with maybe going for something like the HP. Hey Equalizer, how you doing? You know, I've done a lot of reading. You know, none of the headsets are perfect. And I think you need to decide what are you going to use it for. If it's just purely going to be for sim racing, or for sims, then I think everybody is of the same frame of mind, whereas the HP probably is the best one for sim use only. You know, if you want to be able to have room scale and do that, then maybe the... not the Vive, what's it called? The Index is going to be the best one. But again, you know, there's issues when using an Index, there's issues when using the HP. You know, there is not one perfect VR headset at the moment. Yeah, I mean, the problem is, see,
Go straight on.
the Index seems to suffer from the, what's it called? Not God rays, but the glow that you get because of the lenses. HP doesn't. HP has the higher... Oh, I've got to stop again. Has the higher resolution lenses in comparison, so it gives you a sharper image, but again, it's going to be more taxing on your PC. So it's a trade-off, really. And for me, because when I do VR, it tends to be more simulation-based,
Okay.
I'm actually leaning towards the HP, and because it's down in price at the moment, you know, it's what is it, £500 odd at the moment, and if the Black Friday's coming around and they do it even cheaper again, I may actually look at going for the HP and giving that a try. You know, I think, Accuracy, you had the Oculus as well, like me, didn't you? But you returned it, same as me. You know, it's nice. Ah, crap. Just go run off the road because I didn't see him. Well, if you buy from the HP website, I think that's like 520 quid. It's still better than 599. Oh, there we are. Equalizer's found himself a job. He's going to buy a shed load of HP headsets now and sell them on the cheap. Good man. Well, the HP is going to be a higher resolution than the Index. Index is like second best in terms of resolution. But I think what you're after is something to replace your monitors. So it's mainly going to be sim use. And I think if you're going to be doing sim use only, I do think HP so far is the way to go. Until somebody comes out and does as good as the HP in terms of resolution, maybe offers a slightly wider field of view. You know, and a headset that maybe has good black levels. You know, if we get back to OLED displays, you know, 100 hertz high resolution panels, you're laughing. I think if I'm going to do it, if the price is right, let's say now Black Friday they lower the price even more, then I would be tempted to say, right, okay, I'm going to try a HP, see what it's like. Because I do think, for me, higher resolution is what I'm after, because I want something that looks like a monitor on my face, basically. Yeah, but you got to remember, you know, people who complain about the Windows mixed reality stuff, or the Windows software for VR, they're the ones who are usually doing the room scale. Most of the people that I've been reading up on and looking into are people who do flight sim or driving sim with headsets. And you can guarantee that anybody who does a sim-based game is pretty much saying that the HP headset is the one to go for. You know, I thought, you know, I could get the HP and sell my Vive, but if I sell my Vive, what, I'm going to get 150, 200 pound tops. So if I'm really that fussed on room scale, I could always keep the Vive for room scale and have the HP as a sim only. But even then, I don't know if it's enough for me to get rid of the monitors.
Keep left.
I'd probably still keep the quad monitors, because it's so nice just to be able to jump in. I'm kind of lucky because I got a half decent rig upstairs as well, so if push comes to shove, I could always put the Vive upstairs and use that upstairs, you know? Why do you want to go to a 49-inch screen? Bit overkill, isn't it? Especially if, you know, if you've got a race in VR and the screen is just really just for you to, you know, have a look around, then do you really need a 49-inch screen? Yeah, but how often do you think you wouldn't be able to use the VR? Let's face it, what's going to happen first is you'll probably buy VR and you'll make a decision as to whether VR is going to be your thing. And if it is, then you're going to get rid of 2 monitors at least, maybe the 3 of them, let's say. Because otherwise, what's the point of spending, you know, 500 quid, say, on a VR headset, only to then get rid of monitors and buy a 49-inch screen, and you end up using the screen more than the VR. Probably better off just getting the VR and getting rid of 2 screens if you feel that it's still not what you need. Mind you, if you put on something like a HP and the resolution isn't high enough for you, then you probably know that you have to wait for the next edition of VR before you give it a go. Yeah, even now at about 520 from the HP website, it's like, I was tempted. I nearly bought it, but I thought, no. Black Friday's just around the corner. And I've been watching the price. It's been like that for the last, like, 2-3 weeks. So I thought, nah, I'll wait now. We'll see what the price is like. And if it drops down further, then I'll probably pick it up. And again, you get 14 days to try it out anyway. If it doesn't work or if you're not happy, you could always ship it back anyway. Because, got to remember as well, the HP has actually gone through a revision. That the early HPs were having issues, and I believe now the ones they're releasing now are the better ones, because those issues are kind of like being resolved. Hey Noel, how you doing? Equalizer it does, but at the end of the day, you know, if it means you can pick up an electrical item or something, or even Cyber Monday, remember Cyber Mondays afterwards as well. And, you know, you've got to remember some places like Amazon, they do a run up to Black Friday, so you'll probably find that prices may be down way before Black Friday. Well, don't buy just anything with monitors. Do your homework now. Pencil in, you know, 3 or 4 monitors that you like the look of. I'll just keep an eye out for them and see if they come down in price. Because you don't want to buy the wrong thing with monitors. You have, there we are, it's good.
Keep right, and then continue straight on. Go straight on.
327 inch, yep, minimum would be 27 inch I would say. You can go smaller, but 27 they say is about the sweet spot, and then anywhere up to 32, 30, there isn't really such thing as a 34, but certainly 32s. I've always been tempted by 40 inch, but I would need at least 120 Hz 40 inch screens.
Go straight on.
I think that would be nice. Have I got pro mods? No, I'm still running the base game, and you know what? I'm not interested in pro mods at all. I've you know me. I used to run pro mods a lot before, but the game has been updated so well, and I've got so many roads that I need to drive because I lost my profile, so I'm pretty much starting again. That pro mods just isn't even on the map at the moment. I'll look at that once I start running out of roads. Yeah, TN are going to be worse for colours, so when the screens are angled, you may see colour shift. VA is going to give you probably the best in class for your contrast and brightness, but again, colour reproduction is pretty good, but not as good as IPS. IPS these days is fast enough for gaming on. Absolutely, they'll give you the best color reproduction. It's probably going to have the best all round. For me, I would recommend going IPS. The only monitor I've got that isn't IPS is my one up above, and that's a 4K VA panel. And I went for a 4K panel because I wanted the real estate above so I can have all my windows open and check things whilst I'm streaming. But I wasn't worried about IPS there because it's going to be above me, but it's looking straight at me, so I don't have to worry about color shift or anything like that.
Turn right.
Yeah, it might be more money, but it's an investment. And you certainly don't have to worry about G-Sync or FreeSync these days. But certainly go for the higher frequency that you can afford. If you can afford a 144 Hz monitor, then go for it. I'd recommend it. But again, I'm streaming using G-Sync monitors, but I'm only running at 85 Hz because anything over that, and I can't stream and game at the same time without it crashing out. It's too taxing on a 1080 Ti. But then again, see, that's another upgrade coming down the line. I've seen 2080 Ti for about 900. If it comes down in price, I may pick one up, but otherwise I'm still holding out for the next series of cards. Ah, you know what? This is running well at 85 hertz. But then again, see, I recently reinstalled my PC, and I don't know whether something was holding me back, but... I mean, saying that though, where I am now in the dark, I'm getting 66 frames. We've got this Kenworth trying to overtake me. No, you don't, mister. What a sound off that thing. You should try it, especially with American Truck Simulator.
And then exit right.
Well, I've been playing with the settings, and before, like you, I used to run 60 hertz all the time. But I want to be able to push the frequency for what I see, because it looks a lot nicer for me. Have a try of 85 hertz.
Turn left.
Oh my god, sneezes. Ugh. Trying to hold it in. Trying to take a corner and making sure I don't crash. Oh god.
Keep right. And then
Gotta remember, with ATS has been updated, that's now using DirectX 11 only, so it doesn't use DirectX 9 any longer, so there's a little bit more headroom to play with. It is, and that's because they've updated the game. So when the next update comes out now for ETS, that'll be updated to DirectX 11, and DirectX 9 will be taken out altogether, and they're not going to use DirectX 9. You got to remember, our cards now, 1080 Ti's and upwards, they're all DirectX 12.
And then turn left.
So they're still not using the latest in terms of DirectX. But, you know, if they ever upgrade, there'll be a little bit more to be had from the game. Because there's things like shaders and what have you, they got access to a hardware level that will make it easier for the game. Ah, God. The tummy's going to be stuck over there. ACC is another thing altogether. I think I've tweaked my settings and I think 85 hertz works. And streaming. I'll have to double check my settings. If it is, I'll post them in the Discord again. Because I've been playing with the settings on that game, trying to get it higher frequency working, and I think I did. Well, it's the Unreal Engine, and at the end of the day, it's a taxing engine to get the graphic level that it gives. You wait now, something like a 3080 Ti when that comes out, and the game will be laughing. It's just a matter of playing with the settings. I mean, put something like Project Cars on triple screen. That's still taxing on triple screens. I put it on yesterday because I had to set it up, and I was still looking at it going, I'm still struggling to get over 60 frames, even though it's set to 85, you know? Well, they do say that the next series of cards should be launched, I think it's first or second quarter next year anyway. So they say, believe it when I see it. There's talk of the cards being cheaper. Again, I doubt it. I think right now, if they do anything, if they launch a 3080 Ti and they say, you know what, £1,000, then I think that's what it will be. But if they make it more expensive, then
get ready to turn right. Well,
I don't know. There's plenty of people who have bought the 2080 Ti, but I I think the only reason why it'll be brought down... That was weird, then it didn't want to turn. The only reason why it will be brought down is if it's just cheaper to produce and they can actually lower the cost. Now in theory it should be cheaper to produce because the chip size they're using and the fabrication process has been refined. Oh, there's a big one. Twin trailer. Ugh. Do I have a seat slider? Yeah. The seat slider doesn't work though. Well, it does, but I have to put a bolt in its place because I bought the seat. The seat slider worked for about a week and then it actually broke. So I could replace the seat slider. The cheapest I've seen was 900, but it's gone back up in price, so this is why I wouldn't buy one over £1,000. And if Black Friday comes out and there's 2080 Ti's for say £850, £900, it's kind of tempting. The only thing that annoys me is probably guarantee that in the majority of games you're only likely to see a 20 frames per second increase. But when you're playing a game like this and you're hitting what, 64 frames, to be sitting at 70 or 80 frames per second is a lot better than sitting at 60. So it's kind of tempting, but there's no way I'm spending over £1,000 just for a 20 frames per second increase, give or take. Whereas if a 3080 Ti comes out and that gives me, say, 30 to 40 frames for £1,000, absolutely. Yeah, it'd be nice, you know. Let's say this got bumped up to 90 frames constant. I'd be happy with that all day long. Now, you've got to remember though, if you have something like a 2080 Ti, you're probably going to sell the card you've got. I know I am. I'm not going to keep the 1080 Ti. I'll be selling that. So let's say you get £300 to £500 for that. Now that's £300 to £500 off the price of the new card. So even if you've got a 2080 Ti for a, I don't know, let's say £900, you may be looking at maybe £500 depending on the price you get for your existing card. You know, I know that's... I got the EVGA for the Win 3, so I've seen that sell anywhere from about 450 to 500 at the moment. But it just depends on timing, you know. You can do. I mean, I'm lucky in my second PC upstairs. I'm already running a 2070, so that's so damn close to a 1080 anyway that it's not worth me keeping the 1080 Ti. Try and get this back up to 70, shall we?
Keep right, and then
Oh crap.
Exit right. Keep left. Get ready to turn right.
Because you don't get to see too much at nighttime with triple monitor cam, so I've been running it this way at nighttime for a long time. I switch it back and forth. And I kind of like this setup as well because it allows people to keep an eye on the mirrors if they want to. Although in American Truck Simulator, the screen setup you see here was set up for ETS, so the mirrors are slightly different on the American trucks, so they're kind of cut, unfortunately. But yeah, it's just a screen layout I've been trying out to try and let people see a lot more without having to faff around too much. You know, I've got a few different layouts. We've got that one, got that one, got just the screen itself. We're back to the triples. It's starting to get lighter now anyway, we can leave it on there. Damn it!
Keep left and then turn left. Turn left.
Oh, gotta go for it. We're probably gonna get had. Yep. Still got 3 hours on this job. Crazy.
Go straight on.
Take your accuracy. Hey, you got to. But saying that, I did set up a button box on the Stream Deck, although it's not configured properly.
Keep right and
But
then turn right.
at least I can use the Stream Deck to work in this game as well. Ooh, crap, we're in the wrong lane. Yeah, I won't use any of those because they tend to break the game because I used the wrong option for those ones. But yeah, you can use the Stream Deck as a button box.
Turn right.
It's an expensive button box, you know, because you're spending 80 odd quid. But yeah, you can program this to work with games, anything you like. Hold on a minute, I'm just going to go through this one. What are we on about? It's just not worth waiting. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, yes, they're designed for streaming and helping there, which they certainly do work well. There's nothing stopping you using it as a fancy button box. You know, if you've got money to splash out and you want 15 keys as a button box, you can configure pictures for each and every game. There's alternative software to use out there for game. I think it's, I can't, what's it called? Sim Deck or something? You can download and use and configure profiles for games. So I'm kind of glad that I've used it. I mean, you know, things like I can open up OBS from here, I can open up the software for the wheel from here, I can send YouTube messages that I've pre-programmed if I need to. I can launch games from here that I've configured. So it's just another quick way of doing things. The hard part, well, not the hard part, it's just it's having the time to sit there and actually program in the settings. But once you've done it, it's lovely. The car seat, yeah, yes, bought it off eBay actually, scrappy on eBay. This is a passenger Mazda 6 half leather seat. Cost me 80 quid. And then all I had to do was lob off the mounting points underneath the seat, which was mounted to the seat rail. And then, I don't know what you call them, but you get brackets. You know when you buy, say, a racing seat, you have to get mounting brackets. Well, those brackets, I bought those, inverted them, mounted them to the seat rail, and then they mount to the side of the mounting points that I've got on my rig. Maybe I'll do a video on the rig one day just to show the little bits and bobs that I've done. But this, I went for the passenger seat because, yeah, at the end of the day, the passenger seat is less used, less worn. It arrived and it was absolutely mint. There was no wear on the seat whatsoever. And a half leather seat, nice and comfy. I can sit in this damn thing all day, and you know, I'm not sitting going, oh, got a stiff bum, or you know, got bad back. It's really nice and comfy. You know, yes, it looks nice to have a racing seat, but do you really need a racing seat in a rig that's not moving around? Probably not. You know, and I'd rather spend that £200 on the rig or the other parts rather than the seat. There's a bit of traffic ahead here, isn't it? I think I did do a hardware video somewhere, but I don't know if it's that detailed to show off. Yeah, if you go into my my videos, I think I've done like a hardware playlist or something. I can't remember what it's called now, but there are some videos with regards to the rig build and the seat and what have you. The only problem is, if you're going to buy a seat, make sure you buy one that has a flat bottom, or one where the mounts can be removed easily and leave you with a flat base. Because some of the seats, you may find that you'll have a raised section underneath one side, lower the other side, because the way the car is, the center tunnel of the car affects the mounting point of the seat. And rather than having just a normal seat flat both sides, manufacturers will have weird things. So for me, I did a bit of homework, and I think the ones to look at are BMW seats, Mazda seats. There's little to no adjustment there. I think Mercedes might do some, and there's bound to be some others. But if you're lucky enough to get in and be able to look at the mounting points, then it makes it much easier, rather than hoping you buy something and it works. Because I didn't want to buy a seat and then find I had to fabricate this, that and the other to get the fit, you know. I just wanted to get it in, plug it on the rig, and off you go. I mean, I think I've seen people with full electric seats and they've got them wired into a battery and a power inverter. And if you wanted to, you could have full electric adjustable seat in your rig if you wanted to. I did toy with that idea, but I thought, yeah, no, me, I'll probably set something on fire, so I'll just go for a standard. Ooh, this is taking a bit of a frame hit because there's so much traffic. Down to 36 frames a second at the moment. That's gone really bad. Try and be cheeky, but so... Ooh, the car behind did not want to stop, did he? Foot down, let's go. Well, that's just it. You know, a lot of people they'll go out, they'll buy these rigs, they'll slap on things like a full FIA, you know, official racing seats, and it's got the official stamp. It's like those seats are designed to go in cars. They're designed to last a certain period before that's no longer used. Why buy a brand new seat? Why not buy a second-hand seat that's been used? Maybe it's been involved in an accident and therefore can't go back out. If you're in a static rig. You know, if you've got the money to splash out, if you can afford to spend, you know, 200 to 400 to 800 pound on a racing seat, go for it, absolutely. But if you're on a budget, don't try and fall to that line of thinking. There's nothing wrong with just using a basic seat at the end of the day. And again, I'm not the smallest guy in the world. I got a big butt. Will it fit in one of those racing seats? Probably not. So having something like this, way more comfy for me. I'd rather this. You could do that. As long as they're not going to charge an arm and a leg for a Ferrari seat, absolutely. You know, I nearly spent £400 on a seat, but then I was looking at these seats and I'm thinking, you know, why am I thinking of spending £400 when I could easily just spend £80 to £100 on a seat that's going to be just as comfy? Let's face it, you know. Car seats that, you know, taken directly from cars, they're designed to last, you know, 100,000 miles if not longer. You know, they're designed to wear, and a lot of these other seats you tend to buy, especially the cheap racing seats, you know, they wear through pretty quick. You know, they're designed to support you, not be the comfiest thing in the world. I'd have to have a look to see whether it would be needed or not, but you'd be surprised what you can make and get sorted. And that's the thing, see, you know, it all comes down to budget. If money's not a problem, then buy what you want, absolutely. I certainly not made of money, so I wanted to invest in the rig. I don't need a fancy seat, so having a second-hand car seat more than does me fine. You know, I've got other things I want to buy. You know, there's the HP headset we were just talking about. There's the new series of graphics cards coming out next year, so I might want to take a look at and buy. You know, I've got my priorities lined up. If I had nothing else to spend my money on and I had £200, £400 spare, absolutely buy a seat. But with these sim rigs, there's always something you can buy that's going to be bigger and better. "32 minutes left on this job. Try and get back up to speed if we can. We're back up to 92 frames per second out here, see? It's the difference it makes when you're out in the open and there isn't a shed load of traffic everywhere.
Go straight on.
And don't forget, if you're watching and enjoying, hit the old like and subscribe. Certainly the likes anyway, because it always helps with the channel. Ah, crap. Put it in the wrong gear, hit the wrong switch. Look from the mounting rails. You know the slider rails that the seat is mounted to. Check from that point on, because usually whatever they've adjusted that seat for below is usually mounted to that rail. So if whatever is mounted to that rail is going to be a pain to get off, then you may want to steer clear of it, because some of them will unbolt. Some of them will just bolt straight away from there, so you just take it out of the seat, you're just lifting the seat out and it'll be completely flat. Others, they'll have mounting gear which will come out as one. With mine, it had 4 little mounts, and I just took an angle grinder and ground them off, resprayed rust protection, and then painted it, and then I put a vinyl wrap over it. Oop, and I'm too busy yapping and not checking where I'm going. I mean, if you've got some simple tools like an angle grinder, then you've got some options. But then I had to drill the sliders so I could mount them to the mounting brackets that I purchased, and then those mounting brackets, they mount to the rig. They allow me to fit it easy and give me flexibility to adjust up and down, forward and back.
Turn right.
So it's not as straightforward as buying a seat, but with a little work, it's easily done. I think again in my videos there is a video there about the seat. It looks like we're in that stop here. Ooh, that's a bit quick. Right, turn in. I'll do it that way because you may see a bit more then. We're in. Excellent. We're gonna rank up again? Oh yes. We like ranking up. What are we gonna splash on this time? High value cargo maybe? Gives us an extra 5%. So again, looking for around 20 grand. It's nice to see the money's gone up. We're on 176. We're going to need another garage at some point and then fill that up. So we're going to need probably about 800,000. So we've got a long stretch to go. I mean, we could do big jobs. 105, but that's 35-hour drive. It's kind of tempting, but look at that. It's multi-articulated trailer. That's one way of doing it. We go through New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, Oregon, Washington. Oh, we're just missing Arizona and California. I'm surprised it didn't just take us all the way through every single one. No, I've had to start my profiles again because I lost my profiles. My ETS profile, I was like 90%, 85% map completed with over 200 garages and probably 400 million sitting in the bank. But yeah, I lost it. So I got to start again. That was last week. Let's not go there because I'll cry. So yeah, it's kind of annoying. What's that one? I see like 70 grand. It's still 31 hours. That's not bad for 35. It's kind of tempting. What's the time? Do I have the time? Yeah, I probably don't have the time to squeeze that in, unfortunately. I need like a nice long day for that. Let's look at a nice simple 20 grand one. The 20 grand. 11 hours. See if we can find a shortish one for that kind of money. That's 9 hours. That's not bad. Anything shorter than 9? Have a scan. No, looks like they're all going to be 9. Except I'm not taking special transport ones because they take even longer because you're only doing like 40. Tank. 10 hours 49. Might do that one. Oh, you serious? Give me such a crappy truck. One of these will be 11 hours. What's that? I might have to look at doing that one then. Let's go back. Was it this one? No. Can't remember what it was now. That one. 10 hours 49. 23. Anything else for 10? 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. No. Alright, let's do that. At least we're coming out of California. I like California. It looks nice.
Ready to roll.
Ready to roll. We're not going to see anything with that camera. We are completely blocked. It's a interesting trailer.
Turn left.
Watch the rear end. Oops. I was too busy looking at the left and the car on the right. What was my damage? Hey, we're good. We didn't get any. Let's go back to the triples for now, shall we? Unless you prefer the single screen, let me know, and I can always swap it back. Oh, God's sake. Okay, looks like it's only 10 speed in this one. I would just keep an eye out for a Mazda 6 if you find one that has a better mounting. From what when I was doing my looking into seats, I narrowed it down to Mazda and BMW, but I didn't get to see a lot of seats in the flesh, so to speak, so I had to rely on pictures. But if you're able to get to a scrappy, it's much easier.
Go straight on.
Because if you got the option to walk around and look at the mounting points, 10 times easier. But for me, I wanted a leather seat or a half leather, ideally. Because I just wanted to be comfortable in the rig and have a nice seat.
Finding a new route. Okay, let's find a new route.
I don't know why I drove down this way, because the map doesn't tell you to drive down this way.
I'll find a new route. Make a U-turn. Finding a new route.
Yes, I'll make a U-turn because I cocked up.
When possible, make a U-turn.
You know, when you've got a truck doing a U-turn in front of you, you normally think, I'll just stop and let them make a U-turn, because if I drive any further forward, I'm going to crash. Still got no damage. This thing's hard as nails.
And then turn right. Turn right. Turn right. Keep left.
Right then, so 10 hours 16. And we're doing 60 at the moment. Traffic coming in. straight on, we're not turning. Got to weave it through the traffic now. Okay, if we stop it. If we slow it down to 58, that'll stop the beep, beep, beep. And I need another cup of coffee. That's what I need. We just got to kick back and relax now for the next 9 hours. We've got 26 hours, 16 minutes to do the job.
Keep right.
And 477 litres. With the amount of fuel on board, we've probably got enough to do 500 miles, so we should be okay. I'm liking the sound mod I found, because it is giving these cars some good sounds. Certainly sounds more like a bustling city full of trucks and cars. Because without the mod, it was like, well, it doesn't sound like it's doing anything. You're going to put your foot down, aren't you? Go on. Nope, you're gonna just move. Right, what's the speed limit now? Still 55?
Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right. Turn left.
Trying to look over there. $55 limit, so why are we doing 30, people? Come on. Foot down, let's go.
Trouble connecting to the internet. Take a look at the help section in your Alexa app.
What a surprise. Alexa's not connecting. Something else for me to fix.
Get ready to turn left. Turn left.
Beep, beep, beep. Damn blimmin' thing. In a way it's good because it tells me I'm going too fast, but on the other hand, because I go too fast all the time, it goes beep, beep, beep all the time. Alright, it doesn't like 58. Let's try 57.
Keep left.
The sound of that car. Dink, dink, dink. Look like I got some kind of drag trailer on board. Anybody got an idea if there's a name for that type of trailer? I've never seen that before. Riding low at the rear. That's a lot of turbines. Stuck ahead, that noisy cart. Trying to catch up.
Go straight on.
Oh, don't slow down. There's a car right next to me. Another 5 hours for this job and we're at 14:53, so coming up to 3 o'clock nearly. We should be good for this. Well, they're loving that one. God, I want some more coffee. Ah, sucks. Never enough coffee. He's not going to slow down, is he? He's going to squeeze it. If you squeeze the cars, they normally back off. I can't believe this is like a 55 out here. This should be like pew, bullet speed. Back up to 96 frames a second at the moment. See, the potential is there in the game to do a good frame, but just goes to show how taxing those busy areas really are. Hours 33. The speed limit needs to be at least 70 down here. This is crazy.
Straight on.
Good, we can bypass that one. Let's have a play around. That's me just trying to fit. I still can't fit all the screens on the screen for you guys to see. Even if I did super wide, it still doesn't show everything. I mean, there's no difference really between wide and super wide. Ah, crap. Everybody wants to come down. That does sound good.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Okie dokie. Artichoke. What the devil? I think somebody just had a moment.
Go straight on.
Oh, what was the point in that?
Go straight on.
In other words, I could have just carried on going straight in the first place. Thanks. Right, we must be over in the Arizona area now, because now the speed limit's moved up to 75, so we can start putting our foot down. Domino's Pizza. That's what happens when you're not looking at the road. You're busy looking at the phone. I could have been very bad.
Reroute. Keep right, and then exit right. Exit right. Turn right. Keep left, and then turn left. Turn left.
Gonna try it. Caught the trailer because he came out. Did we get any damage on it? Only on the trailer, not the goods, so that's okay. Nope, it's not going to work. Nope, it's not going to work either.
Go straight on.
Oh, shit. That's what happened. Risked it. Got too close. I like that truck over there. We're getting damage this time. Haha, none of the goods, that's all that matters.
Go straight on.
One hour, 60 minutes remaining on this job. Great timing, isn't it? Just as you arrive, it decides to change. Keep right and turn right.
Turn right.
was definitely the trailer. I wasn't paying attention. That definitely cut in. Oh, we're so lucky we didn't get any goods damage. Still thinking I'm sitting a bit too high. It's a little better. Fuel 56, 268. Limit of 75. We should be able to motor now. We've only got 1 hour 30 left on this, so if we can get to 75, we'll be rocking. Coming down to the last hour now in a few moments. Oh, we did pull over. The very last moment. And I get late. 1952. It's going to be blooming dark when we get there. Keep left.
Keep right, and then exit right.
No, I need to turn my I need to slow down.
Exit right.
Oh, come on. truck down the front's not moving. Come on. And I think that truck can't move because he's stuck up against the car. Okay, it's down to me to sort this out.
Turn left. Go straight on. Keep right and then turn right. Turn right.
Or just go straight to the end and then turn right.
Finding a new route. Keep right and then turn right. Turn right.
Oh man,
Go
caught it
straight
on the
on.
rear.
Turn left.
Oh, is up here? I think so. Let's get this all parked up. Looks like it's going to be a relatively easy one.
Here we are. Safe and sound.
That's not that easy. That trailer's got caught on that bar. Damn it. Goes to show you can't do what you think. Whoa. I think I'm gonna like reversing this one in. so can't tell because this trailer's sloping backwards. I don't know if it's... It looks to be keeping straight. I don't even know. You can do, but you're not going to see much. I've extended the mirrors, the camera view. So even if you were, say, inside, even if I put the mirrors on, very hard to see for you guys. And if I put it to a wider view, kind of difficult for you to see. I mean, you can still only see one mirror, which is why I've done that particular shot. But that one, I'll have to set up another one of these for American Truck, because American Truck Simulator, the truck layout is slightly different. So I was just trying to do a way where you could see a little bit more. At least with them, you can see the mirrors there more clearly. So we got it in. Just. Each time we do 20 grand, you get a nice little bump up. So that gives us 194,000. What's the bank looking at? We get rid of 100,000, but that only gets rid of 1,800. Is that lemon loan? $1,000. Doesn't need one. Driver manager. They're working their way up. That's a 5, 2.5, 2.5, 4.2. They've done well. Need to get their long distance up, they'll start earning a lot more money then. Right, so I'm going to leave it there for now. I need to take a break. I've been at this now for just over 2 hours, so I'm going to take a break. Need to sort out some food anyway. Maybe back later, you never know. Keep an eye out, hit the old notifications. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a good thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next one. So take care, bye for now.